My dream of 2040 and what the reality can be, we cannot say whether they will form an eclipse between the reality and the dream that we dream. We always look forward to the best for all of us, to the health of our planet, welfare of human beings, plants, the animals, the birds, and everything that makes our planet a prosperous, very, I would say, very wealthy, I would say. I was recently visiting Gujarat, and there's one gentleman called Saujibai Dholakia. I admire him for his achievements despite of the fact that he has hardly studied out of primary school. And he currently runs a business that is more than 10,000 crores. So youngsters should not give up. If a mere primary school graduate can achieve such a level of material success, always rely on your own personal integrity and don't give up your dreams. My dream for the planet, for humanity, is awakened human beings. When we classify and differentiate plant kingdom from animal kingdom to human, and those who can dream of the angelic world or the angelic dimensions, humans are still at a basal level, and that's why some individuals, they behave like animals. And in order to differentiate animal like human, as we say mere human, and those who have really become human beings, let's call them as humane. So we will not get insulted why Daji is calling me. So I would say you are human. Better one would be humane, and still better would be an angelic state. What is it to be a real humane? Meaning all those qualities that we have to have. Generosity takes the lead, backed by kindness, because you can't have generous heart without being sympathetic, empathetic, and kind. Generosity in its trail also brings about forgiveness. And when you do forgive, then what happens that your grudges, revengeful attitude towards others, jealousies, everything dissolves. And we make our passage into the world of freedom. In Yogic Shastra, we call it as liberation, moksha. So the foundation of moksha lies in the heart that is generous. Generous enough to give up, generous enough to accept, generous enough to forgive, generous enough to even sacrifice personal life for the sake of others. So there are many great qualities. So how do we become generous? And how can we keep moving? It's not about giving money, but listening to someone patiently, someone's pain. It's also, I think, an act of generosity. You're spending some time listening carefully with rapt attention. There are many ways one can be generous. It has nothing to do whatsoever with finance or monetary transactions. Banks also gives you money. That doesn't mean there is generosity. It's conditional, and then jo hota hai. And in human transactions also, whenever we do share our wealth, there is always this expectation that I did such and such a person a favor. I was so generous and see what he did. But a real generous man forgets it from the moment it is given. It's like right hand doesn't know what left hand's done. Like that, say. So dream of the future of humanity is one of the most generous individuals, angelic in nature. Angelic means most loving. It's a higher state than generosity. Of course, they are all related. It's like chicken and egg. If I ask you what came first, egg came first or the chicken came first? If you say chicken, then how did chicken come from? Where did it come from? And if you say, oh, it came from the chicken, it's a vicious cycle of no end. Similarly, which came first, the seeds or the tree? But there is a simple answer to that also. We were talking about generosity and love. Both go together. Both are two sides of a coin. But Babuji was saying that God was not a fool to create a huge tree and then bring seeds later. No, He created seeds first and then came the tree. In this paradoxical situation of love first or generosity first or compassion, the basis of all that is love. Love makes you become generous. It's not an act of love, but being love personified makes all the changes. Meditation, especially our heartfulness practice, brings about such soft, tender, and incremental changes in our hearts. They become purer and simpler. So the future humanity will be pure, simpler. Everything will be simplified. This is the dream. Whether it will happen or not, it depends on all of us, how we conduct our life now. If we continue to live the way we are leading our life, then 2040 can be disastrous. But if we dream, if we can insist on transforming our individual self, then that is possible. Problem with humanity is, everybody says, oh, I wish my spouse was like this, or I wish my spouse was like that. We want others to change first. This morning when we were talking, exchanging ideas with various vice chancellors from so many universities, agriculture universities who assembled here, there was one similar question that was posed on transformation. How can the world change? I said, forget about the world. He was questioning about the attitude of politicians. I said, democracy and all that, these are all hyperbolic words, but true democracy doesn't exist anywhere on the planet. These are all pseudo, false democracies, pretentious. If you cannot amend the ways with your spouse, for example, you request something and there is resistance for change. With the most loved members of your family, if that happens, how in the world would you expect politicians to amend their ways as per your likings? It's not going to happen. Why go that far? You think that I will transform myself tomorrow and behave like this, or I will as soon as I get up in the morning, I will meditate. This is also a desire to transform oneself. If I myself cannot change by my own simple desire, you try to change the world? Stop dreaming like that, say. So we should forget dreaming how the other human beings will behave. I can only say how I will be tomorrow, what I can do tomorrow. And this incremental change is soft, s- smaller steps that we take every day will take us to the heights. And suddenly you will say, though I have been taking smaller steps, all of a sudden you'll have a quantum leap. And you'll say, oh wow, I know this. I have felt this before. You'll be able to recall your original state of purity. You will resonate with that purity because that is our nature. You'll say, oh, now I have regained it. You don't become purer. You are already pure. What realization makes us feel is this. We recollect our memory of purity that once upon a time, long time back, I was like this. I have regained. So there's a full circle there. But is it enough to just become a pure? No. There is also an incremental purity or potency in that purity. But that's a different topic altogether. 2040, how will I be? I don't know if I will be existing on this planet or not. Who knows the future? But I wish we were all again meditating here under this roof in 2050 also. That's a dream.